Hi everyone, my name is Marielle Catherine Agam. You can call me Kathy. I graduated my Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology, or MSU-IIT, last July 2023. I took and passed the Philippine Nurses Licensure Examination last November of 2023, and recently I took my NCLEX examination and passed it in the first try last July 9, 2024. Today, I'll be sharing with you how I process my application, how I answer the forms, requirements needed, expenses, and what I use for my review. I chose the state of New York. This is because they did not require a social security number or SSN, and from what I've researched, the application for the NCLEX was fast, and true enough, it was. So the main requirements I processed for my NCLEX application is Form 1, Form 2F, Form 3F, and also the two courses such as the Infection Control course and the Child Abuse course. So what is Form 1? So Form 1 is an online form. So it asks here what are your details regarding your education and about yourself. Form 2F is a document that supports that you have graduated the degree of nursing. So this is accomplished by your school. So Form 3F is not a mandatory requirement. However, I encourage you, especially if you have passed the local board exams like me. So this form is accomplished by the PRC, or the Professional Regulation Commission. Regarding the waiting time, so I was able to complete my Form 2F and 3F in 2 weeks, and the Form 1 and courses in less than a week. So this usually depends on the pacing of the individual. And after submitting these forms, I waited for around 8 to 10 weeks for my eligibility to come. After which, I made my Pearson VUE account, and immediately the next day, my authorization to take, or the ATT, was emailed to me. And I then scheduled my exam date. So I would like to clarify that the NCLEX eligibility and the authorization to take are two completely different things. So the NCLEX eligibility, it means that your requirements was approved by the Board of Nursing in the state that you have applied, and this does not expire. However, the authorization to take, or the ATT, expires within 90 days. So ATT will be emailed to you once you have done your Pearson VUE account. This is usually given the day after making your account. So now let's talk about the different forms that I have accomplished. So right in here, I will be placing the requirements and the expenses that I have incurred. So the first form that I accomplished is the Form 2F. Like I said before, the Form 2F is a document that supports that you have graduated the degree of nursing. So the link of the 2023 format will be in the description box. And on the first page of the Form 2F, you have to input all the details stated. So we have to input the necessary information in the form. I would like to emphasize that do not forget to sign the last item, number 9, using a ball pen. So I encourage you to refrain from using e-signatures. Rather, always use a wet signature. So it means you have to always use your ball pen. First, I check the registered professional nurse, place my birth of date, then print your name, then your first name and your middle name. And of course, you have to place the daytime phone or the telephone or email address. And of course, you have to write your home address. So in lines 1, 2, and 3, so you just have to fit what is your address. Also, I skipped the state since we don't have a state. And also, I place my zip code, and do not forget your country. So the name as it appears on your diploma, of course, your real name. So if your middle name is not elongated, so you just write your initials. Then the institution you have attended. So I wrote out Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology, the address, and for the date of attendance, since I did not know when I started, only when I graduated, so I asked our college secretary to fill this up for me. And of course, your title of degree, which is Bachelor of Science in Nursing, your date of degree, or when you have completed. Again, I would like to emphasize item number 9, so you have to sign that. So that is a very important part of your application. So going on to page 2 of the Form 2F, I only wrote out the name of the applicant, submitted this to our college secretary, and then filled this up for me since it is the responsibility of the school for this part to be filled up. So alongside my Form 2F, I was also given additional requirements by my college and also by the registrar. So these are, of course, the accomplished Form 2F. So this is signed by yourself, the dean, and the registrar, and also your transcript of records with the purpose of the New York State Education Department, followed by its address, the related learning experience or RLE, the BSN curriculum or the academic record, and lastly is the course description. So I paid around 200 pesos for my transcript of records. Some points that I would like to remind upon checking your papers, since mine I was allowed to review it prior to getting it sealed, is that your signature on the number 9 item of the Form 2F on page 1, the signature of the registrar on the page 2 of your Form 2F, the institution seal on page 2 of Form 2F, and the indicated signatures for assigned personnel and files included in the envelope. I was able to open my envelope before it was sealed, so what I did is I scanned all the additional requirements so I could have an additional copy. So after the completion of my Form 2F, I sent it through DHL. So this is a courier service, and their cutoff time is 4 p.m. and I paid 2,602 pesos for this to be sent to the Board of Nursing in New York. So the next form that I accomplished is the Form 3F. So the link of the Form 3F will be in the description box. So this Form 3F is accomplished by the PRC or the Professional Regulation Commission. So for the Form 3F, you have to book an appointment through LARIS. So, and after that, go to transactions, certifications, state board verification, your occupation, which is a nurse, the quantity 1, and you have to input your PRC ID number. And lastly is to select a time and place. I paid 75 pesos for this document. Additionally, I bought a 30 pesos documentary stamp from the BIR. So what are the requirements needed for Form 3F processing in the PRC? So I was asked to write a letter of request for verification. So this is an example of a letter of request for verification. So in the first page of the Form 3F, like I did in the Form 2F, I signed up all the necessary details, and on the page 2 is I left that for the PRC. So aside from those two, I also had to bring my state board verification slip, which is found in the LARIS. So this could be found in the transactions, and then there's a document attached to it stating that you have purchased the state board verification, and of course you have to have a photocopy of a valid passport, making sure that the page 2 of the passport is signed. So I photocopied that. I also had a photocopy of a PRC ID, and make sure to sign the back of your PRC ID and make sure both of the passport and the PRC ID is valid and not expired. The requirements asked from me from the PRC Cagayan de Oro. However, you can email your PRC in your own region what are their requirements for Form 3F. So after which, I sent my Form 3F through DHL. I still paid 2,602 pesos for the courier fee. So after I submitted my Form 2F and 3F, I did my online coursework. So if you want to know more about the child abuse identification and infection control coursework, I will be placing the link in the description box. So there are a lot of choices for the coursework providers. For each coursework, I paid $35, a total of $70 since there is 2 courses needed to be taken up. So around that time, it was around 4,003 pesos 21 cents. It is important to know that it is best to use a credit card when doing transactions related to the NCLEX application. So since I didn't have a credit card, I used my mom's credit card. So anyone's credit card from anyone you know, you can use it if you don't have one. After passing these two courses, the certificate was then emailed. And also, don't forget to save always a copy of your requirements, just in case. So after passing the two courses and submitting Form 2F and 3F, I did my Form 1. So prior to applying to Form 1, secure these requirements. So of course, you have to have a credit card. Second, you have to know your grade school month and year started and ended. Since I did my senior high school, I submitted my senior high school diploma. And also, you have to take note of the month and year you have started and ended is your college diploma. And of course, the two certificates of the child abuse and maltreatment course certificate and the infection control and barrier precautions course certificate. So after you have submitted that, you have to take note of your application number. So this will be emailed to you. For the completion of the Form 1, I paid $143, around 8,156 pesos and 15 cents. And after that, I waited for the approval email of NCLEX. So from time to time, I would like you to check your email because I submitted an additional document, the certificate completion for child abuse training. This was emailed to me by my course provider. I will be placing the link in which you will submit this additional document to the description box. And upon opening this link, they will be asking your application ID again. So this is seen in your email, your birth date, and the type of document, which is the child abuse training. So after I have accomplished Form 1, Form 2F, 3F, and the two courses, I waited for around 8 to 10 weeks for my eligibility. So again, I would like to emphasize that eligibility is different from authorization to take. Eligibility does not expire. So what does eligibility mean? It means that your documents was approved by the Board of Nursing in the state that you have applied to. After that, I paid $200 for my Pearson VUE account. So I couldn't remember how much was the exchange rate at that time. So once you have made your Pearson VUE, the authorization to take, or the ATT, will be emailed to you a day after you have created your account. So once that is emailed to you, you are given 90 days to take that exam. When you open your Pearson VUE account, you click the type of the exam and schedule your exam date. To schedule your exam date, I paid $150 for scheduling an exam date. So after all the processing, you now finally have your exam date. And then, of course, you have to review. But after taking the exam, I waited for around 2 days or around 48 hours for my quick pass results to come. I paid $7.95 to view my results, and luckily and by God's will, I passed my NCLEX. So in the case that you have failed your NCLEX exam, you have to wait a minimum of 45 days between each attempt. So I believe you have to pay for another schedule. You don't have to redo all the process. You just have to pay for an exam date. So for the course material that I used Archer. So I really like their video. Their video lectures were quite lengthy. They discussed it by system. However, in each system is that there are points in which you are able to see what are the diseases being discussed, or what are the drugs, and etc. I also have really relied on the readiness assessment to monitor my performance in my test taking. I also used the CAT mode, or the CAT mode, around 5 times. So CAT mode is a computer adaptive test. But however, like I said, I heavily relied on readiness assessment. This is because Archer has suggested 4 consecutive highs and very highs will give you a high chance of passing the NCLEX exam. So aside from Archer, I also listened to Mark Klimek's video lectures. So I recommend Mark Klimek's video only if you have a prior knowledge on the lessons. So his technique mostly focuses on the simplification of knowledge. It would be quite difficult to understand if you didn't know the basics after I've finished watching all of Archer lecture videos. So, to share my blessings with you, I will be having a raffle, so I'm giving away a copy of all the PowerPoint presentations and cheat sheets I used in Archer and Mark Klimek. So I'll be choosing 5 random followers. You have to just like this video, follow me on Instagram in my IG handle, and then comment your username in the comment section so I can reach out to you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this video helped you in your application process. So if you find this video informational, please do share this to a friend or family member who wants to take the NCLEX exam. So see you around, and good luck, future USRN.